Testing. Just testing the mic. Let's test the mic. If you can hear me, press the thumbs up. Okay, I think we will give it a few more moments. At exactly 7:34, we kick off today's session of the 30-minute sales gym. Okay, so let's begin. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining today's session. This is episode 9 of the 30-minute sales gym. We said we're going to be doing this for 52 days, which is 52 Wednesdays, 52 episodes of the 30-minute sales gym, and every week it's going to be packed with a lot of value, a lot of content. We're not going to be adding any fluff to this. We just want progressive content. It's my passion, and so I do it every Wednesday, 7:30 to 8 p.m., 30 minutes, bite-sized content. Take action on it and you will start seeing results. Today's session is regarding pricing. We're going to be talking about the strategy behind pricing your product. So, what most startups get wrong in pricing. Uh, Here, the idea is for the 30-minute sales gym, who is it for? It's for sales reps, you who sell products, you who deal with pricing conversations, you who are constantly negotiating. It's for business owners, founders, startup founders, people who want to grow their business. The 30-minute sales gym is also directed towards managers, executives, people who manage teams, and you want to see results in your teams. You can invite your teams and they can join, and we give this information to them. So, this is the 30-minute sales gym by SNCT Marketing. Uh, as you can see, we've started off with statistics. 50 to 70% of founders underprice by 50 to 70%. So you're looking at pricing. Now, when it comes to pricing, we usually get it wrong. A lot of people are looking at pricing and they are pricing based off of commodity or based off of luxury. What does that mean? It means, so if you've got a commodity product, the way you price a commodity product is different from the way you would price a luxury item. Therefore, people are getting it wrong by 50 to 70%, thus leaving money on the table. 30% of revenue is lost simply due to pricing mistakes. So when you're doing pricing, it's a very critical part of your research, of your development, of your business. Pricing is continuous research. So it's not about your product. In the previous 8 sessions. Today, this is the ninth session of the 30-minute sales gym. So in the previous sessions, what we talked about is how do you sell? How do you get people to buy and reduce friction? We talked about how do you reduce objections. We talked about how do you uh, actually get rid of fear within you and within your team members. Now let's look at a perceived value. How do we convert that value into pricing? It's a big factor in terms of negotiation. Uh, so pricing is perceived value. Look at currency. What is currency? What is money? Money is a medium of transfer. It's a medium of transfer. So people with the money in your pocket of 50,000 note or whatever amount you have in your pocket, you perceive it to have the buying power of 50,000 and you trust that that note has that value. You go to work every day, you sell a product, you get a commission, and you get that money and you exchange it for something of equal or more value than the paper you are holding. Therefore, people will pay an amount if they feel it is of equal or greater value. What you're selling to them is of equal or greater value than the amount they are holding in their hands. Therefore, pricing should not be based on the product, but actually based on the value you are presenting. The problem you are solving is what people are paying for. So people are buying outcomes, not products. At the end of the day, regardless of whether it's a job you're going for, a job interview, if it's a product you're selling, a service, somebody's buying a drink, I'm not buying the drink because it looks nice. I'm buying it to quench my current thirst. So I'm buying the outcome not the actual product. It could be any brand of product. It could be Honor or Wana, whichever way you pronounce it. It could be Minute Maid, it could be Coca-Cola, it could be Mirinda, it could be any form of drink. It could be water. So long as it quenches my thirst, and that is the outcome I want, or I need a sugar boost, a caffeine boost. I'm buying a product based on the outcome I want. And so value is usually tied to outcomes or solutions. Now, here are the major outcomes. People buy because they want to save money, to make money, to gain status, or to remove pain. If you remember the story about my mentor and the pain he had in the back of his neck, he would pay anything to get rid of that pain now. However, he did not see value in preventative measures. So he would not have paid to prevent because he didn't have the problem. Now he has the problem. He would pay anything to remove that problem. Your price is a signal of the value your customers receive, not a reflection of what you spent to produce your product. So assume you've spent 100,000 and then you say, okay, if I've spent 100,000 to develop this product or to package or to get a final product of any form, uh, I'm going to price 50,000 extra and get 150,000. That's good. It's the safe way to do it so that you ensure you have a profit margin. However, you are definitely leaving 50 to 70% of additional money on the table because you're not pricing on value, you're pricing on cost. So you've already diminished your product to a cost based on expense, whereas you've not looked at it in the form of whose problem am I solving and what can they afford or what are they willing to pay to solve the problem. So you've got your cost-based pricing, which is that, and then you've got competitor-based pricing, which a lot of us do. Those are the two main pricing models used by different organizations. Now, competitor-based pricing is you're going to go in and say, okay, I have 10 competitors. What are they charging? Usually, this would work with commodity items such as your milli meal, your maize meal, posho. It would work with your bottle of water if it's Nirvana versus is it Renzori? Is it Sky? Which type of water are you selling? Crystal. So that is what we call competitor pricing. You're comparing yourself to people who have done it before you, who are currently in the market. Again, that leaves a lot of money on the table. Value-based pricing. What is your product, your solution, the benefits surrounding your solution worth to them? That is what we call value-based pricing. So here you've got the statistic, only 18% of software as a service companies use value-based pricing. And value-based pricing is the most profitable approach to pricing. So let's look at the three ways. Again, you've got your cost-based pricing, which is weak. It's easy to calculate. It's harder to defend to a customer because a customer, the objection during negotiation is usually you get some clients that have the audacity to ask you, what is the cost to you? So if you used cost-based pricing, it's harder to defend because it's not linked to a value. You're just simply saying, no, I paid 100,000. Now I'm charging you 150,000. And they're going to say, why don't you charge me 110,000 instead? Competitor-based pricing is safe, it's simple, but you're letting your competition define your price. And what that leads to is, in certain situations, if your competitor is a monopoly, you're entering into a monopolized sector, you're going to have challenges where your competitor can look at you underpricing them because you're comparing your price to them, and then cut their price lower to undercut you. They can sustain it, you can't. Then you've got your value based pricing, which is the most profitable pricing. Yes, I paid 100,000 to develop this service. However, the problem this service is solving is worth 300,000, and I can justify why someone must pay 300,000 for it based on the value. And that is value based pricing, priced on what it's worth to the buyer and where you want to be as an organization. So there's always a way. You've already been pricing using cost based or using competitor based. You want to transition to value based pricing. It's still very possible. Uh, Simply, let's start with, how do we define your value? We are going to ask the three questions listed here. If you've got notes, if you're taking screenshots, please take your screenshot. If you're taking notes, feel free. This is the section. You're going to ask yourself this: what problem are we solving for you, for our client, right? Uh, you can ask yourself that as you come up with your pricing. And during negotiation and during the sales pitch, make sure you're answering this: what problem are we solving for you? The next point is, what is that problem costing you? Then finally, what would solving it, what would solving that problem be worth to you? So ask those questions, uh, look at it and say, okay, every day you don't have my solution, it's costing you 20,000. 5 days you've used 100,000. In 10 days you've used X amount. Uh, and therefore, in 1 year you've used this. If my subscription is an annual subscription, this is the price. This is the problem I'm solving. I'm saving you money. I'm solving the pain, right? Remember the 4 points we discussed earlier. I'll scroll back to them. I'm saving you money. I'm saving you time. By solving the problem, I'm pumping up your status and I'm removing the pain. So if you can do that, answer that within this framework that is here, then you're golden. If you save, the example we've got, real example, you save the business 1 million a month, then charging them ideally 100,000 is definitely undercharging. You can actually charge them 200, 300 thousand, just because you've clearly outlined how you're saving them 1 million. I don't know if that makes sense. If you have questions, you can put them into the comment section. We are very okay. I'll give a few moments after the slides are done to answer questions. Feel free to also like, feel free to comment and interact. This is a live session for a reason. I'm very happy to respond. Now, pricing is psychological. An example I would always want to use is looking at retail stores. If you've seen big retail stores, if you've gone to supermarkets, big clothing stores, LCI Waikiki, that's one big one in Uganda. If you've gone to Carrefour, pricing is something you can play around with, and there's a way of impacting a client psychologically simply through pricing. Pricing is perception. So last time I gave an example of mobile phone, Apple, Samsung. Samsung has a large number of affordable devices as opposed to Apple. However, people still buy Apple. At $5,000, people will buy an Apple iPhone. On the flip side, there are people who will buy Samsung. But iPhone is looked at more as the luxury brand, whereas Samsung positioned themselves more for utility. So pricing is a psychological game. If you play around with your pricing well enough, you will get a 20 to 40% increase in sales simply just by tempering, tweaking your pricing. Let's use anchoring to make your price feel like a bargain. So, yes, we've got this is for you, my closers. We've got a price of 1 million. We're saving them money, if you remember. So, what we're going to do in anchoring is we're going to look at it from the position of my competitor is pricing at this much. So what I like to do in meetings is I like to go in and give a crazy price at the beginning. So I'm going to go in and say something like, um, so usually people are charging 1 million per month. Realistically, I know my price is 300,000. So when I say that, uh, most product is 1 million per month, uh, and people are buying it, and I give my entire pitch. But I started by coming up or planting the seed of 1 million per month in the client's mind. By the time I reveal my price, which is 300,000, in their head, it's a relief. They had planned all these objections around the 1 million. They'd seen the value and compared it to 1 million. And they're saying, okay, the value is so high. Yeah, 1 million is probably worth it, but I still need to negotiate. Then you come in with a sucker punch and say, listen, all of what I'm offering you is actually 300,000, not the 1 million. Anchoring increases perceived value by 32%. Uh, you're setting up the 1 million in their head. That's the value they'll start seeing. Then when you offer them the rate of 300,000, they'll look at it as very discounted and an easy yes. So anchoring is one of your closing techniques if you're going with price. Now, this can also work for marketing agencies. It can work for marketing in your marketing language. You can use anchoring anywhere. Again, small changes, big impact. This is another way of tweaking your pricing in your offer so that it feels more acceptable. It's received better. So most people would price something at 100,000. Now, once you've priced it at 100,000, psychologically, it feels big. It's a round number, feels expensive. Whereas you could simply say it's 99,900 or 99,000. The second you switch it, it's a 1K switch. But that 1K switch will cause you to close sales in a big way. So if you go into supermarkets, you'll find that a lot. 9.99. There's always a 99. So for premium products, they're going to be using round numbers. iPhone is going to say to you 4,399. Prices ending in 9. Generally, it increases sales because it's just less than the higher number, which is 39,000 sounds cheaper than saying 40,000. 99,000 sounds cheaper than saying 100,000. This is all buyer psychology. This is all just in the buyer's mind. On in the books for you, it's just 1K difference. So, again, another pricing strategy being used by several organizations. These are common. These are common everywhere you go. You'll see pricing offers, right? You go to Shell, they've got fuel save and they've got V power. So you don't just offer one price, you're offering different prices or different packages. And then as you're setting this one up, this one is interesting. As you set this one up, the key is to make sure the middle price is your sweet spot, is where you make the most money. Yeah, if they buy the premium, woo, beautiful, thank God. But most people psychologically will go for the middle value. It's not too cheap and it's not too expensive. So you have to make sure the pro or the middle value, this the gold package. If you're doing silver, gold, platinum, or diamond, if you're doing basic, pro, premium, if you're doing economy, economy plus, and then first class, make sure economy plus has enough value that people don't even consider basic. And then if they did consider premium, the price difference is so sweet on your side, it's golden. So that's a pricing strategy for my founders. If you've already got packages, and you'll see that even in our packaging for our coaching and consultancy services, we do have a basic, pro, and premium plan. Decoy, so call it decoy pricing, naturally guides 84% of buyers toward the middle or premium option. Chase them away from the basic. Basic sucks, it doesn't have enough value. Pro, best value. Premium, sweet. That's for your iPhone buyers. So also reviews. If you have a product and you already have customers, reviews are very important. I can't state the value more. In terms of pricing, increasing your pricing power, if you have other satisfied customers already, it is a win. So no matter what, if you're starting a company from scratch, I wouldn't advise you to stick too much on your pricing. My goal would be get the first few customers, make them very happy, and then use them as examples to now get the right customers. So higher prices commanded by products uh, with strong reviews, it was 12%, so a 12% increase. And then 53% of buyers value reviews more than price. A lot of people are looking at the review. Have you ever gone to a website like booking.com to book a resort, a holiday? Uh, you're going to see different hotels, resorts in the same location. But what you're going to scroll through before you scroll price is reviews. You want to make sure the places in your shortlist actually have great reviews before you pay. And so reviews, 100%, if you have them, use them. If you don't have them, start figuring out how to collect them from your customers. Reviews give you trust. And if you remember, it's very difficult to close a deal without trust. You have to get that trust. So we go into Pricing, why cheap pricing hurts you. I know we're reaching our 30-minute mark. We have, I think, 4 minutes to go. Let me try and uh, get through this. So low pricing hurts your business, hurts your salespeople, it hurts you, it attracts low quality customers. I usually don't like saying this. Some people are just bargain hunters, but again, it is proven without a doubt that customers who are very strict on low pricing tend to have the most complaints, and you have to generally do a lot more work around them. Low pricing is going to impact trust. There are cases where a low priced product versus a high priced product are next to each other. They look the same, they even feel the same, but I'm not going to buy the jeans that are 20,000 when there are jeans of 50,000 next to them. It kind of makes me feel, me as a buyer, that the jeans of 20,000 might tear at any time. And then cheap pricing kills growth. I always say this. I always say this. Margins, okay? You have to have good margins in order for you to grow. If your margins are low, it means you have to sell so many product, so many packages. You have to be a very high sales oriented organization. Like you have to convert like McDonald's, or here in Uganda we have KFC. You have to be selling a KFC like crazy in order to make the profit margins make sense. Why? Because within your profit margin is salaries, is other costs that you have to account for, including expansion, hiring of new workers, training them, etc. So low price equals low margin, low profit, which is equal to low growth. Here's a simple startup pricing strategy for my startup founders. Uh, Start with 3 tiers. Use the anchoring effect, anchor your pricing, compare yourself to someone unnecessarily expensive, and then put put the pricing at a high price and then offer it at a discount at the end. Most software systems are doing this. Most marketing businesses are doing this, where they will say it was 80,000, now get it at only 33,000. That's anchoring. Price on value, not on cost. Don't price on cost, don't price on your competitors, price based off of the value you are offering. And then here's a key part to this: test every 30 to 60 days, test your pricing. Pricing is something you can test, it is not set in stone. Test and see which pricing point actually gets more conversions. It is very okay. Pricing is never final. You can always increase and decrease based on the weather. Pricing is a process, it's not a decision. So test your pricing again, test your pricing. You could sit in a boardroom all day and come up with prices, but if people are not buying, you have to go back to the drawing board and say, at what price are they going to buy at? And that is the market determining the value of your product for you. So test, run different price points across different segments and different channels, test and see which pricing will work in real life situations. Listen, treat objections as data, take notes, always carry a notebook. I don't believe in taking your phone to write notes. A notebook, mwah, because a, a chat is not going to show up and distract you while you're writing using a pen and paper. Treat objections as data, they reveal where perception gaps exist, and then adjust. With the data you've collected from your testing, adjust your pricing accordingly. So here's a live exercise. I want you to do this week. Again, 30-minute sales gym. Go out there, do what we're talking about, and then come back and let us know if it worked for you. Answer these 3 questions about your own business. So this is a questionnaire for you. What problem do you solve? And don't be vague. Don't be vague. Brian Tracy has this thing where he says, uh, write your first, write 100 items. Create a list and say, I'm going to write 100 problems I solve. Write all 100. You'll find you'll probably get exhausted at number 10 or number 20 because all the surface layer problems, the ones ChatGPT can give you, all of them, they're few. As you dive deeper and you insist on getting to the 100, you will start coming up with better solutions, better problems that you solve. So, what problem do you solve? Be specific. What is the outcome worth to your customer? So, based, what is that problem worth? What is it costing them? Is it time? Is it money? What is it that it's costing them? And put a UGX or a dollar value to that problem. Then what are you currently charging? So I want you to answer this. Be honest. I don't justify, just be honest. I'm currently charging 50,000. Do that, fill that in, get that insight. You realize based on the question number 2 and number 3 and the number of problems you're solving in number 1, you're definitely underpricing your product and your service. So if you want more help, you want to dive deeper into pricing and you want to dive deeper into closing and selling better and getting more deals coming in, uh, feel free, reach out to us. What we're doing is we are SNCT Marketing. We provide consulting, coaching, training services. We love sales. We want to develop the best salespeople. Most founders are struggling with pricing, communicating value, and closing deals. SNCT comes in. We help you with that. Book a free consultation. I'll say go to our website, but it's under renovations. Feel free, comment section, comment, and we will get back to you. Alternatively, join our WhatsApp group. If you're not in the WhatsApp group, you can feel free to comment as well. We will share the link to the WhatsApp group. Pricing is a sales problem. It's not a math problem. So as much as you want to justify it mathematically, if you're not bringing in money and everyone says you're expensive, you're probably expensive. Thank you very much. I hope this was useful. Feel free to comment in the comment section. Let me know if you have any issues relating to pricing, any questions you have relating to pricing. I would love to respond to those comments. If not, I'm just going to be here for like 2 more minutes since we've exceeded by 5 minutes. And then we can move on with our evening. Thank you very much for joining and good night. Okay, so that's the end of the session. Thank you everybody for joining. Have a good evening. The session is going to be saved on YouTube. You can always come back and watch it at a later time. Thank you again. Good night.